So good evening and welcome to another episode of Not the Evangelist News. I think I'm possibly going to enjoy making this one today. Who would have known when that chap who was trolling me came up with the idea for this, for me reading the news? Who would have known that the very next day we'd get some information, some news, which just shows who the evangelists are, and it just shows who the liars are. Perhaps liars is a strong word. I know they've got a cause and they do all these things and they're trying to promote it. I understand that. But I don't think it should be allowed for them to misinform the public. In order to make an informed decision, you need to have the right information. If somebody's shoveling the wrong information down your throat and you think it's coming from a reliable source, then you're going to make a bad choice. It's not fair. So, and this chap, I don't know what it is about him, but I don't like him. I've never liked him right from the first tweet I saw of his. Since then, I've seen several other things where he's wrote to people for retractions and he's worked on them getting retractions because their information's wrong. And I've sent him cast down proof of where his information has been wrong in the past. And guess what? He doesn't retract his information, he just leaves it up there. And he knows very well that it's wrong. I've sent it in black and white. So the first thing I see this morning, the new car sales figures are out today to start off with. Now I got a bit of a preview of them last night, and I knew the Evangelist today would be, all over singing Evie's praises and saying how well they've done. So the first one, Dr. Andy Palmer. UK record, 56,387 BEV registrations in September, pushes year-to-date market share to 17.8%, with 18.5% forecast by year-end, still below the zero emissions vehicle mandate, 22%, but that's the real target. Taking various flexibilities into account is just over 18%. Industry currently at 17.8% for the year, so they're more or less. Lots of noise about delaying the ZEV mandate and lack of consumer incentives to buy EVs. Some justification to the latter in fairness, especially on the need to roll out home and work charging and eliminate VAT on public charging. I don't understand why you would need to do that, but there you go. Car companies will always lobby where they think they can make a quick profit, but in truth it's a lobby of the unprepared versus the prepared, and failure to move quickly to EV platforms will be a gift to the Chinese OEMs who have already invested. So then he's quoted the September figures from the SMMT, and it's just a certain section of it cut out. Now this isn't the guy that I don't mind him. I can take him or leave him. The one I can't stand is Mr. Colin Walker. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I just don't like him. So Colin has retweeted this, and his comment is spot on. Spot on. Now I've read the whole article, so I've just put, and I attached the article. I won't show you the article to start off with. Cole, your mate Andy missed a bit, and I know that if anyone else did that, you'd be typing a letter out demanding a retraction, so perhaps you could share the important bit. He hasn't done. I'll leave the important bit. Oh, now's the important bit. Unprecedented. That's the table at the bottom there. There's a graphic. The headlines: unprecedented EV discounting shores up September new car market. Now let's examine that for a second. Shores up. So that's to stabilise, is it? To shore something up, make sure it's true and straight. That's not true and straight. That's bullshit. Unprecedented EV discounting. That means that they're buying business. And if they're buying business, it means they're buying business at the expense of probably ICE cars. If they're buying business at the expense of ICE cars, it means dealers like us, all the other dealers, 95% of cars on Auto Trader are ICE cars. It means that those deals that they're doing on EVs are taking money out of everybody else's pocket. They're buying business. Or as I used to work with somebody who always used to, we shared a pitch, and if he had the same car, he would always undercut me. And I would call that purchasing a friend. And that's what it boils down to. It's not a deal. If you're giving it away, if you drop the price of your car, it means the other person has to drop the price of his car. And this happens all the time now with these price searches that, it's fair enough, it's competition. You don't like it, get out of the job. But you drop it 500 quid and then the next person that you've just undercut drops it, and it's a race to the bottom. Stupid. No, because nobody looks for the best car. If you had a search, they have new to old, old to new, mileage things, most recent advertised. If they had a best car search for the money, that would be brilliant. That would be fantastic. You could make an informed decision, but they can't. So the next one. Record 56,387 BEV registrations in September, driven by massive manufacturer discounting. But here pushes year-to-date market share to 17.8%, with 18.5% forecast by year-end, still below the zero-emission vehicle mandate. So they're going to miss the target. No, unprecedented EV discounting shores up September new market. That was the actual headline. Then we've got Colin again. Industry calls on government to introduce financial incentives or row back on its EV sales target. On the same day, we learned that EV sales last month were the highest ever recorded. EV sales clearly in good health, so no argument for sales targets to be weakened. This guy has seen the actual figures and he's decided to miss out, to mislead people by not putting the discounting in. They've bought business. That's not good business. They will go skint before we get to the ZEV mandate. All the car dealers and the manufacturers, they'll be skint. So car makers urge Chancellor to overhaul green mandate as EV uptake. Honestly, if you'd seen the letter, talk about brown nosing. I've never seen anything like it, the way it starts off, and it's rubbish. This government don't seem to care less about anybody, in my opinion. So anyway, I've sent Colin another tweet. This is like off Wayne's World. Baking your pudding, Col. But record 56,387 BEV registrations in September, driven by massive manufacturing discount. Unprecedented EV discount shores up September new car market. So I've actually sent him, and I've sent him the article just in case he only got like a fax of that other bit. I wanted to make sure he knew. And there you'll see, there's the things I've sent him. I've sent him the headlines, I've sent him a clip to it, and I've sent him the overall article just in case he can't open that link on his computer. Just in case Norton Antivirus stops it from an unknown source. So, belt and braces. Right, his next tweet. Data on new car sales for September out. Highest number of EVs ever sold in 1 month in the UK. EV market share at over 20% and 18% for year to date. You wouldn't think it from the media coverage though, which continues to push a narrative that EV sales are somehow struggling. Jesus Christ. They couldn't struggle anymore. They couldn't. They're pre-registering, they're hiding, they're selling new cars as used cars. They couldn't struggle anymore. And old Collier, this is his tweet. This is, I don't know how many followers he's got, but this is a tweet from the Climate Intelligence Unit. And they've got some fair sponsors behind them, honestly. You know, there's some weight behind that. But this, to me, is not right from somebody in a position to influence others and also influence the media and some bigwigs. Andy Palmer, you know, if he's following Andy Palmer and Rachel Reeves and all that lot, you know, he might just have some clout. He did say, somebody said something about me once to him. His reply was, I'm aware of his work. I don't know what that means. This isn't work, honestly, it's a hobby. Trust me, I'm doing this for fun. It's not work. I'm doing this so that people like him can't pull the wool over other people's eyes, other customers' eyes. And so they can't, well, they can ruin the motor trade, they are doing it. But I'm doing my best to stop them. Here we go. Now, I've seen one of his friends, one of his other sycophants, sent a message to me about diesel sales, and he'd put, you can't polish a turd. And I went back, no, but you can roll it in glitter and call it a Nissan Leaf. I didn't get a reply to that. So here we go. I like using other people's words back on them. Lesson on how to polish a turd. Buying business while destroying EV residual values. When will they learn? And then I've just put again the record 53,000 unprecedented, just so, you know, just so as he knows. A couple of months ago, when was that? September the 5th. Again, Colin Walker. This article in the Times repeats the claim that EV sales in Britain have stalled, despite being around 10% higher in 2024 than 2023. Well, the SMMT sales figures for August are out at 9 AM, and they're going to reveal the EV sales are anything but stalling. I think they meant propped up, massaged, exaggerated, pre-registered to make the numbers up in the worst possible actual sales month. Because we've got this two-plate system, what we should have is one plate at the beginning of the year, and then it's even out, but they don't do that. Make up in the worst possible actual sales month, so not actually sold. And to be fair, if it was true, it would tend to point to the people who have bought EVs being a bit naive, as to buy a car the month or day before the new reg is financially stupid. In the old days, we used to have to open at midnight to deliver the new reg cars. We did. And there was also, you know, there'd also be something in the paper next day, the first person to bump a new reg car, you know, and quite often it'd be like 5 past midnight because they were knackered to start off with. They'd never driven the car. It was dark and there's all sorts of people racing off. So, P.S. the new 74 pre-reg cars are already popping up for sale as used EVs. So in reality, EVs are on a slippery slope, and it's people like you that aren't helping. And in my opinion, he's not. He's trying to, but you know, somehow when people do things and they want to help, like Bob Geldof, you know, I think Bob Geldof did more for Brexit than anybody else, except Nigel Farage. Images and video of Bob Geldof giving all the fishermen the V's spurred people out, got them out to vote. They wouldn't have done normally. So people like him, in my opinion, are doing the same. And I sent him these. I sent him some pictures. These Fiats, just one after another kept popping up. Fiat Abarths, the also 500s. Part exchange offer now on at Arnold Clark's. Vehicle registered 31st of the 8th, 2024. The day before the new reg comes out. You know, that is financial suicide. And then I just also showed him one that here, that was in September 2024. This says must be registered by 31st of the 3rd. 12th of January 2023 it was first advertised, 601 days ago. It's a 2023 on a 73 reg. It says 150 miles, it's probably done about 10. And on the other, you see the AT price tracker, which Auto Trader are trying to stop. They've tried to cock the code up today, but it's such a handy app. It really is. You know, and I'm surprised really, because Auto Trader are very, very big on the everything must be transparent. They want transparency between the dealer and the customer, everything, financial, you know, they put on a price banner, and they put a recommended retail price of how much you're over or how much you're under, but yet they're trying to stop the price tracker people who just show when it's been reduced. That, in my opinion, is possibly a good thing. This price tracker, I think it's worth its weight in gold for customers, so I don't understand why they're trying to block it. But anyway, where it says show more there, they've apparently specifically written code to find the show more and then hide that car. Why? I don't know. So then we've got another one, August 29th here. Latest, Colin again, latest in EVs just too expensive compared to petrol car news. And it's pinned to an article, Vauxhall, I think it was Vauxhall, yeah. Vauxhall says electric Frontera will cost the same as petrol option. The first new electric car to cost the same as the petrol version. Vauxhall confirms price parity for Frontera EV. However, price parity had gone. It'd come and gone. EVs, even though they cost thousands of pounds more new, used are worth less. They're selling for less money. So it's not price parity. Price parity is here. EVs are here. So that's wrong. So my tweet back to him. And as far as used EVs, price parity has been and gone. In order to sell them, they have to be way cheaper than ICE. E.g., as you may know, I have an I-Pace and it's a great car. I just have a customer on it who has a 3-litre supercharged F-Type. This is a true story, honestly. And I'm trying to work out a deal. The I-Pace cost new £69,425, was first registered 23rd of the 9th, 2019 and has done 36,500 miles. We're asking £19,995 for it. The F-Type cost new £62,545, was first registered 16th of the 6th, 2017 and has done 37,200 miles. Cap retail is 31,250. So to clarify, the I-Pace is 2 years and 3 months younger. It costs £6,880 more and it is now worth £11,250 less. It's cost £18,135 more in 2 years and 3 months less. With £18,135, you could have bought 2,706 gallons of fuel and driven 67,667 miles at 25 miles per gallon in a stunningly beautiful sounding F-Type. And they are. They're a beautiful car and they drive absolutely fantastic. They're gorgeous, or you can have an I-Pace, which I like, but sounds like a Black & Decker. As the owner has only driven 37,200 miles in it, it would have been better off by £8,165. Now imagine the F-Type was the same age as the I-Pace and it was 2 years and 3 months younger. So I worked it out. Just worked it out on a like-for-like year and mileage. You would be £25,725 better off if you'd bought the F-Type instead of the I-Pace, with which you could buy 3,839 gallons of petrol and drive 95,988 miles at 25 miles per gallon. That's not even allowing anything for charging, charging the I-Pace, and that's assuming that your electric was free. I do have to say though that the I-Pace is great value now. It is, no doubt about it. Great value now as a used car since the first owner has blown his brains out with depreciation. And that's the truth. It was a great car. We sold it to a chap, he's over the moon with it. Another reply. It's like this. EV sales are stalling, but EV registrations are not. For example, these 17 brand new delivery mileage 29th of the 7th, 2024 pre-registered Polestars have just been advertised as used EVs on Auto Trader. That brings the total to 52. There has been a lot more since. Virtually every day there's been more and more Polestars. As I mentioned in last night's video, a guy fell out with me. He said I said when the first lot came out, I guessed there'd be 10 times more. They're still coming out now, a month later. So I think I was probably right. I was closer than he was. And this is what I said here. That brings the total to 52. I'm guessing for every one advertised, there will be another 10 duplicates. They aren't sales, they are pre-registrations. They will be sold off as used EVs at a massive discount. adding to the already horrific depreciation on EVs, but increasing used sales. So effectively you get two sales. You sell it new, a registration goes down as a used car, you then put it straight onto Auto Trader as used. When you sell it, it's a used sale. So you get two sales off one car. You actually get two sales before it gets into the hands of a customer. The customer is the second sale. So I've put, can you see why used and new EVs appear to be rising? Hope that helps. That's one of the other shills sayings, a real snotty. Hope this helps. Basically, you're thick and I've just explained to you. I've just handed you your arse because you're stupid. Hope this helps. You're welcome. I would also suggest that there is some tampering with used sales figures too. Either that or people get sick of EVs very quickly. Well, I've explained that before. Used EVs are changing hands time and time again, you know, 2 and 3 times in a year, 2 and 3 times in a few months. Here we go. Here's another one from him. EV sales continued to soar on the second-hand market, up 52.6 in past year, driven by fact that second-hand EVs are at price parity with their petrol equivalents. Proof this is, of coal, that when the upfront price barrier is removed, demand is very much there. A short thread. And he's done the SMMT's graphic. So, here we go again. This headline is dangerous. Just stupid clickbait. EV shit that never happened, despite all the selling brand new EVs as used ones. To show how ridiculous this headline is, let's put it into perspective, should we? Every type of make and model of EV that's been sold, 46,800 transactions. That's a funny way to describe sales, but hey-ho. There were 77,000 Ford Fiesta transactions. Just Ford Fiestas on their own outsold every make, model and specification of used EV, including all the brand new delivery mileage ones that have been pre-registered, counted as a new sale, then sold as a used EV at a massive discount, probably at less than cost to boost sales. But the thing that has been extrapolated from this information is that used electric cars, this was the headline, used electric cars helped drive surging sales of second-hand cars in Q2. Well, they didn't, did they? In fact, there was 900% more black cars than there were EVs. 900% more black cars sold than all the EVs put together. Black was the most popular colour during the second quarter, accounting for 415,588 sales. EVs sold 46,800. It was followed by grey, 344,000, and this actually includes EVs as well, I suppose, like 12 of them or something. It was followed by grey, 344,572, and blue, 319,707. Sales of used battery electric cars rose by 52.6% year on year to take a record quarterly market share of 2.4% with nearly 46,800 transactions. These are the headlines. The Ford Fiesta was UK's best-selling used car between April and June with 77,000 transactions. This was followed by Vauxhall Corsa, 63,700, and the Ford Focus. So, you know, 46,000. Again, put it into perspective. It's not sold as many, nowhere near as many as Ford Focus. The whole EVs, the whole make, models, specs, you name it, all the way up and down, not sold as many as a Ford Focus by a long shot. So anyway, it's the same thing again. So he never retracted it, never said anything, never replied. So I've put, because he was on about misleading narrative, so I put, speaking of misleading narratives, used electric cars help drive surging sales of second-hand cars in Q2. Or how about this headline? Used black cars sold 368,788 more than every single make, model and specification used EV put together sold. Yes, you've not misread that. 368,788 more black cars sold than all EVs put together. So black cars actually did drive the surge in second-hand car sales. Not EVs. Used electric cars helped drive surge in sales of second-hand cars. No, it wasn't. It was black cars. Black cars matter. Seriously. Again, same story. I can't leave things alone. Used cars help drive surging sales of second-hand cars in Q2. I've fixed your headline for you. Used Ford Fiesta ICE cars sold 30,200 more than every single make, model and specification used EV put together sold. 30,000 more. Now, then we go back. This is, you know, months ago when I first became aware of his work. Is one of his tweets, Hi Rec, whoever that is. Hi Rec, here's what Auto Trader actually have to say about second-hand EVs. Electric vehicles are currently the fastest selling fuel type in the UK, taking an average of 36 days to sell, compared to 41 days for petrol and 42 for diesel. That was January. His tweet's April the 2nd. That report that he tweeted was from 12th of January 2024. So that was 12th of January 2024. Since then, things have changed. I've informed you several times, but you still keep repeating the same claim. You know, I mean, and below is another tweet to him. That was on March the 18th. Before that was 2 weeks before. Oh dear, that tweet didn't age well, did it, Col? In fact, it was already out of date when you tweeted it. And then I put like climate intelligence. What I meant was climate intelligence tosser. So there you go. That was the same thing when it comes to fuel hike. Petrol 25 days is the fastest seller, followed by diesel at 28 days. This was the actual thing in the article. When it comes to fuel type, petrol took 25 days to sell, is the fastest seller, followed by diesel 28 days, and electric 32 days. And 1 to 3 year old cars are the fastest selling when it comes to age of vehicle. Labouring the point, if only everybody would correct their articles and tweets when they get stuff wrong. So that was attached to a tweet. He'd written to the Daily Mail, and he's put, as soon as we get the Daily Mail to correct their article and stop saying a Jaguar EV had gone rogue, they put something else. But this guy sat at his blooming typewriter all day trying to get people to write retractions when he seems to put any old shit. February the 29th, again, so it's February, March and April, he's repeated this. EVs are currently the fastest selling type of car on Auto Trader UK because price parity has been achieved. He thinks that's a good thing. You've bought an EV, it's dropped like a stone, it cost 10,000, 15,000 more than a petrol, it's now worth less than a petrol. He thinks it's a good thing. EVs are a popular choice. No, they're a financial choice because they're cheap. That's why people are buying them. But the other thing is they buy them because they're cheap. Boy, do they get out of them quick. And as I say, I have nothing against EVs. I haven't got my I-Pace at the moment, but I will have, or I might get a Mustang next, Mach-E. But I've still got my Citroen Ami, love it. It's outside, love it. So again, that's wrong. It doesn't matter. If you print some information, he's on you to retract it. But he can keep pushing the same old shit time and time again. And he knows it's out of date. Trust me, he knows. February 29th, again. Article in Telegraph uses words from Aston Martin to push narrative that consumers don't want EVs. So it's worth reminding people that the second-hand EV market has almost doubled in size since last year. So they've sold 2 this year, you know, doubled. Why don't you tell us the figures? Because it would look like nothing, honestly. That article yesterday where the Nissan Leafs had gone up 187%, sales had gone up 187% in America, and it was 4,154. And there's like millions of people, you know. I mean, there's probably well, there won't even be one in every town, I wouldn't think. So, again, EVs are currently just repeating the same old crap. He tweeted a survey. 563 people have been surveyed. That's not an accurate survey, is it? You know, to be honest. So I informed him. So he come back with another one. Want more? Question mark. Here's a poll by ZapMap of 3,306 EV drivers, which found over 90% wouldn't go back to petrol or diesel. Right, they're EV drivers. You don't want to be asking EV drivers. You don't want to be asking EV owners, because EVs aren't selling. We need to find out why they aren't selling. So what you do, you ask the people who bought one, then sold it, why they sold it, why they're going back to... That's like asking a load of... Well, it's just irrelevant. So, Carl trying to be clever here. I put ZapMap, UK's #1 EV charging points app, 2023. Helps EV drivers search for EV chargers, plan longer journeys and pay for charging. So I'd put, that's who they are. I'd put, what does ZapMap do? Let me think now. You know, Cole's clever reply, very, you know, full marks to him. Talk about dropping yourself in it with a stupid comment. Site used by EV drivers surveys EV drivers to ask them what they think about EVs and stuff. Quite the scoop. So put, is that the sound of a penny dropping? You know, I think you'd have to be stupid to put site used by EV drivers surveys EV drivers to ask them what they think about EVs and stuff. They've kept it. They're obviously happy with it. Those aren't the people you want to speak to. You want to speak to EV sellers. And it's easy done. Very, very easy done. There's 16,000 used EVs for sale on Auto Trader. Auto Trader have the power to send them a questionnaire. Why are you getting rid of it? Why are you selling it? What are you buying next? You could have a fantastic survey. I'm not sure I'd trust Auto Trader to... What they'd have to do, it'd have to be sealed envelopes, and they'd have to come to me and I'd do it impartially. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, can you see that all you people that are calling me a bullshitter and liar and EV hater and old Ford, what else we got? Old Ford dinosaur, geriatric, you've got Alzheimer's, Gammon. Actually, Gammon's my favourite, but anyway, there you go. So all those people who are calling me that and saying that I'm getting me, you know, I'm making stuff up because I don't like EVs. I'm giving you the facts and I'm proving it. Everything I say, I prove. How can I be lying? I'll put the links to the articles. I've put screenshots of the article. How can I be lying? What am I going to gain by lying? I sell cars. It doesn't matter if it's a diesel, a petrol, an electric car, an LPG, hydrogen. I sell cars. I move metal. That's what I do. It don't matter to me how, you know, I just don't care. If somebody wants a vehicle and I don't think it's right for them, I will try and talk them out of it. I will try and give them advice. If they don't take my advice, well, actually, no. Another motor trade story. A long time ago, I went to the BMW dealership I worked at. Sent us on a course. Every couple of weeks, we had to go down to Milton Keynes. And I didn't mind it. At first, I didn't want to go. And there's another story about this. But at first, I didn't want to go. But then I met somebody down there. And I quite liked going after that. But one of the classes there's a lady teaching the class. And she said to everybody, if you knew a vehicle wasn't right for a customer, wouldn't suit his needs, would you sell it to them? And I said no. And I was the only one that said no. They were the only one in the whole class, and there was probably 35, I think. The only one out of 35 people that said no, I wouldn't sell it to them. And they all turned round and went, the usual thing, you know, like testosterone and what have you. I'd sell it. I'd stick it to them. I'd sell it them. I'd make sure they had it. They'd be going out with the car and so on. So anyway, everybody's staring at me, and then the lady at the front said, "He's right. You shouldn't sell somebody a car that doesn't suit the needs." That's what's happening today with EVs. They are being sold to people whose needs they don't suit, which is why they're depreciating, why they're not wanted, why there's such, everybody's bad mouthing. I mean, on here, even on my supposed side of the comments, you know, there's comments there about EVs, and they're not right, but it's the same with Range Rovers. People down the pub, somebody down the pub has said Range Rovers aren't reliable. Touch wood, we sell loads of them, and we have fewer problems with Range Rovers than we do with Audis, Mercedes-Benz, definitely BMWs, definitely. Crikey, I'm honestly, I try not to even take BMWs in it anymore because we have so much trouble with them, and yet people swear by BMWs. So with that in mind, that's the second episode of Not the Evangelist News. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like and subscribe. The one I did last night seems to have been fairly popular. I might try and make it a regular thing if people like it. Leave something in the comments. If you do, then the more comments there are, the more likely the video will be seen by somebody, especially somebody with an EV that needs educating. What we need to do, anybody who doesn't like EVs, the shills think they need educating. It's the shills that need educating. If you keep doing stuff like this, I will make you look stupid. You look stupid. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Good night.